Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. This is episode number 213. Across the interwebs from me is Phil.
Rapid fire.
I just stuck Phil to his wall so that he can't walk away from the podcast.
That's how I got on this podcast. Is I was actually just walking by the studio when a bunch of web fluid stuck me to the wall and
Right.
microphone was shoved in my face for an interview.
Exactly. Exactly.
Highly recommend.
Uh, Angoulême has been officially canceled.
Yep, heard about
Um,
that. It's probably
there was
I
a extended town meeting. They normally 2 hours. It was announced that it would be four
wow.
the day before that it happened, and 90 minutes of it went to Angoulême. Um, People are understandably upset, though it doesn't seem really upset that it was canceled as much as upset that it had to be canceled because um,
Well, it
it
sounds
had
like
taken so long to deal with things that had been
and they
percolating.
they tried to not deal with things because they
Right,
re-upped their contract with this
right,
company that
right.
was the problem, and so
Um,
yeah, I feel like a lot of the
so
upsetness is at the head honcho guy, Frank.
well, yeah, but the mayor had his feet to the fire at the town hall meeting because they were sitting there going, yeah, no, it's definitely the this group and whatnot, but like there have been significant issues since 2016.
That's fair. This has been a long
So
time
so
coming.
why did it take it so long to come to a head?
Well, profitability probably.
Um, well, yeah, but like um from the town's perspective,
Well, and
other
that's
groups wouldn't necessarily make it less profitable,
right.
might even
And
make it more
that's
profitable.
yes, and that's where it is. There's a clear difference between the people
Right,
attending and actually throwing the festival and the people
right.
coordinating and the owners of the
Sounds like
festival.
a lot of the local comic book stores are trying to do things for that weekend anyway. There are a
That'd be
couple of
nice.
adjacent fests, one like Indie Zine Fest and one Christian Comic Fest that are going to go forward anyway. It was kind of
Christian
cool to
Comic
me.
Fest is
No, it
it's
was actually
interesting.
kind of no, looking at it, it was kind of cool to me that there was a Christian Comic Fest that, as I looked at it, I didn't find repulsive.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it's weird. I normally strongly dislike Christianity, but once you bring comics into it, I'm like, I'll hear them out.
Well, I mean, I try not to strongly dislike any massive thing just because they're good. I mean, oh
I like
God,
a
where was it?
challenge. I like a
Where
challenge in
was?
my
Oh,
disagreements.
it's Evanston. Um,
Oh,
the
that's where
the
the
Evanston, Illinois.
uh-huh.
Um, I think it was the Catholic Church, but one of the churches in Evanston, their nativity scene
Hmm.
has Mary and Joseph in gas masks
Wow.
and a brown Jesus in the manger zip tied.
Holy shit. That's pretty fucked up.
So with their nativity scene, they are making anti-ice.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
So
it took me a
so
second
this is
because
this is what I'm saying is that like painting with a broad brush is a
it is.
dangerous thing.
And that's where Christians are of varying quality.
I mean, we're gonna get into this with the what kind of week has it been?
That's fair.
Because like painting with a broad brush is
Yeah.
where
I
we
will
run
say
into a lot of trouble.
yes, it is. And I just want to quickly say that my all-time favorite nativity scene was in the windows of Graham Cracker Comics off of 75th Street. They have a Godzilla nativity scene with all the like
Okay.
Godzilla toys and stuff.
See?
It's great. I love it. It's hilarious. It brings me joy just thinking about it.
Right. So, I mean,
Godzilla has that effect on me.
I mean, see, you just you manage to not only like something Christian, but like something from a a comic chain that I almost never like anything from.
Mm. And that's like limits of exposures. That's the only comic chain I experienced in Chicagoland. I think I
No, I
went
get it.
to yeah, I
I
went
get it.
to a like a really cool store in Chicago maybe once, and I don't remember which one. Um,
Do you remember roughly where it was?
no, I'm
Okay.
unfortunately terrible with the neighborhoods and whatnot, aside from my
Okay.
like two or three that I frequented.
Because I mean, there's Chicago comics. There's when you were in Chicago, I don't think Challengers was open.
When did
Patrick might have
Challengers open?
actually still been. Actually, when you were in Chicago, it might have been
Uh-huh.
Patrick or Dal that was running that Graham Crackers.
Interesting.
Some
That
of the
one.
cooler, some of the cooler stores in Chicago have come out of people that
That's what I hear.
weren't treated particularly well
And
by Graham
that's always a
Crackers
bummer.
and went off and made their own stores.
Yeah. And
Um,
you know, it's also funny because Graham Crackers bought the comic store in my college town after I graduated.
right.
So that was the other thing that's kind of funny to me. So it's I do feel bad that the chain does not have the best reputation.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
yeah. Next time
but
I'm there,
anyway,
I'll have to
yeah,
see the best ones.
Angoulême canceled. You threw in
I did.
Next Perspective owner of DC Comics is Netflix, and
Maybe.
like I'm going to say a little bit more than perspective because Netflix actually sent out a email to subscribers yesterday.
Wow.
Um, and while it did say that like the deal hasn't been finalized, like the fact that they're already starting to respond to, for the time being, Netflix and HBO Plus will remain separate things, blah blah
Mm.
blah.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty far down.
That does sound a lot further along than I thought it
And
was. I
let's be honest, this administration isn't gonna.
no.
And for that matter,
When's the
on
last
one
time a merger was blocked?
well, but on one level, I'm not. I mean, compared to a number of other recent media mergers,
Yes.
like Netflix doesn't already own a ton of other companies.
Yeah.
Netflix is from a different, I don't know that there's as good of an as good of a traditional antitrust. I mean, I don't know my antitrust law, period.
Uh-huh.
I'm not actually a fan of any time when two huge groups
Yeah.
become one huge group.
Right.
So I very much wish that this was a thing that there were laws against,
Well, as
but
well
I
as
am not at all certain that like there's as much issue from a legal sense with Netflix as there would have been with, say, Paramount Skydance.
and that's honestly when I heard that Paramount Skydance was the prospective buyer, the previous one, you know, when there was just talks of it, that sounded,
Right.
oh great, you know, this is just more of the same that WB is and DC have
Or
been
for
dealing
that
with.
matter, the previous Discovery,
Yeah, those yeah, those
you
clowns
know,
it's been terrible. As
right.
shitty as the time with AT&T was, it's wild that Discovery was worse.
No,
And
actually, I mean, a lot of people, and for the comics, I think it's pretty unequivocally
mhm.
Discovery's probably been better.
Well, yeah,
Not
because
necessarily for the movies, but
right, right. But that's I mean that is actually really funny. So it'd be interesting to see how DC Comics stay under, you know, Netflix ownership, which just feels weird to say.
this may actually be an example where the recent Superman movie winds up being the savior
Yeah. Yeah.
because it proved viability of product.
That's what
I
Heidi
had
said
McDonald
on
to
the beat.
say.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Exactly. And it's also one where it's like again, as I want to say it was I'm going to attribute it to Zach Rabroff because he's very funny on Blue Sky, saying that I feel so strange having a preferred outcome of this antitrust disaster. You know, it's a little surreal. it's a little surreal to hear about
Uh, I,
corporate
I mean,
news and
my
think,
preferred
oh, that's
outcome
okay.
would be if they were all broken up and had to be their own
Exactly.
companies.
Exactly. If we actually
Unfortunately,
use these laws.
I don't see that happening
No,
anytime soon.
no. We decided
Uh,
the opposite was better.
yeah. So
What kind of week has it been, Ted?
what kind of week has it been? Um,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we don't even know yet.
well, yeah, there's some of that, but
Yeah,
like, uh, the way we already have at least some people trying to justify war crimes against
yeah.
alleged drug dealers.
I don't even want to call them that because there's absolutely no evidence that drugs are involved in this at all.
And that's why I emphasize the alleged.
That's fair.
The other reason that I'll call them that is like we don't have the death penalty for drug dealing in this country.
Right, right. So here's the problem that I see is that it's clear that these fucking idiots are playing, real life risk, and they're intentionally behaving territorially and are trying to initiate military conflict. Like that is clear. That is very clear that they are willing to use
But he got the
military
FIFA
forces.
Peace Prize.
That clearly means nothing. I'm
The FIFA Peace Prize.
the
The
FIFA Peace Prize.
inaugural FIFA Peace Prize.
Oh
He's
God,
so
that's just
peaceful. They made the prize just for him.
oh, I didn't really respect FIFA as an organization before this, and I don't see a reason to start now.
And
Um,
by peaceful, I think they're referring to how sweetly he sleeps through cabinet meetings.
ugh, yeah. I mean, it's man.
Apparently all comparisons to Sleepy Joe are really getting under his skin.
That's
So I
funny.
propose that we only refer to him as dozing Don from here on out.
Pretty good. I like the alliteration there.
Um, yeah, and like the show notes, I put perfection at take out the trash day. For people who don't know what take out the trash day is, it's popularized in an episode of The West Wing, and historically, it's been relatively small but embarrassing stories all kind of get held for a dump on Friday after
Friday evening.
the after the Friday evening deadlines because Saturdays are the least read newspaper day, it's the least watched TV news day, etc. And they have a set number of inches to fill. So the more different things you dump, the less attention they'll get, and they're getting that less attention on a day that nobody's paying attention. Um, uh, I'm just gonna read the first paragraph from Heather Cox Richardson, and then I don't even know if I can talk about it yet. Um, but we will be linking to it in the show blurb. I love that we're now putting links in the show blurb so that they go out over Spotify and Apple and whatnot, and
Oh.
hopefully that doesn't get us delisted at any point. I don't know the rules, and I'm like pleading ignorance until then.
Hey,
Um,
I heard 22 panels doesn't have rules, so I like to think that applies externally as well.
uh, here's my problem with that.
That's fair.
Here's my problem with
I don't
that.
even know what it is, but
This
it's fair.
whole document is about not having rules.
Yes, yes,
There are rules that I believe in.
yes. I know you do. It's fair. I
That
do too.
refers to specific questions,
I
Phil.
am yes, yes. I like to facetiously be a no rules weirdo, but for real, I do love and respect and appreciate there being
So,
some rules. I
so
need them to
From
function.
Heather Cox Richardson. Um, Last night, the Trump administration released the 2025 National Security Strategy of the United States of America. It did so quietly. Although, as foreign affairs journalist at Politico Nahal Tusi noted, the release of the NSS is usually accompanied by fanfare as it shows the administration's foreign policy priorities and the way it envisions the position of the U.S. in the world. Um, and essentially, the reason it did so quietly is that, like, the document, uh, as Heather describes it, and like, I'm probably gonna have to subject myself to actually reading the damn thing at this point, because fuck.
Yeah, all the
Um,
quotes were pretty
it is
grotesque.
essentially uh,
It feels like
Europe is not white enough anymore, so we don't like them.
that's what the document was saying, yes.
We they've given up on Western identity, so our only interest in involvement in Europe is to restore Europe's civilizational self-confidence and Western identity, quote unquote.
Ugh.
Um, uh, 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 we do not suggest that Russia is an area of concern.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
there's pivoting towards Latin America and Canada, but really in a sphere of influence. Literally, there is talk of diplomats needing to look for American business opportunities.
yeah. As well
Uh,
as the part that appalled me was saying that NATO needs to give up on its position of the Russia war ending,
right.
which again is directly in line with the announcements Putin has made of his conflict. He's claiming his conflicts are with NATO and seeing it as a quote unquote ever expanding alliance, and basically saying it's very clearly stating Russia is not the enemy, it's the friend, and we need to let them take over Ukraine. Like that's it
Oh
I
wow, I didn't even. I'm looking at the document right now.
uh-huh.
And just like the chapter headings.
Oof. I'm sure.
Introduction, what is American strategy?
What is strategy?
Subsection 1, how American quote strategy went astray.
Oh God. Oof.
Um,
Yeah, and that's one where it's like,
two, two, President Trump's necessary, comma, welcome correction.
oof, no.
What
Oh,
italicized should the United States want?
oof.
What do we want overall? What do we want in and from the world?
Oh boy.
What are America's available means to get what we want? And then we have the strategy with the principles, the priorities, the regions, starting with the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, this is going to get
Yeah.
read sometime probably today. And I'm going to link both.
Uh,
I'm going to put them both.
yeah.
So like anybody who downloads the podcast, there should be links. Um, I'm going to let, like, if you want it condensed, uh, uh, you know, take Heather and take Heather anyway because she'll give
Yeah.
you some historical perspective as well. Um, but we're gonna give the government's own words, though it'll be interesting to see how long the document stays.
Oh, you think they
Because
might take it down?
well, I mean, they do have a history of taking down or moving things that are embarrassing.
See, then and here's the thing that to me is it kind of helps realign and clarify the situation. They desperately need this to be like popularized. This is what the United States as an entity in the world is doing. And they quietly released it in a Friday night news dump that they're embarrassed of or don't want people to know about
What
until after the fact, and it's
I
too
mean,
late.
what I um was thinking about before I read this and what would have been what we talked about likely is that more and more people like Pete Hegseth, people like Tom Cotton, people like Marco Rubio,
Hmm.
um, I mean, obviously people like Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon, etc.,
Hmm.
are behaving like they understand that if they ever lose power, they're going to jail.
Yeah. And it's wild to me how,
I
you
mean, to a
know,
certain extent, I feel like the Supreme Court is behaving. Like if they lose power, not only is the court going to be restructured, but some of them are going to wind up in prison.
I just have to point out that's a it's hard for me to comprehend what the Supreme Court losing power would look like. Like that's the thing is one thing we talk about or I don't remember if I've talked about it with you or just a friend of mine, but the idea that, you know, democratic mechanisms, like, oh, there's no mechanism to remove people from the Supreme Court. And I think there is, something like
There
that.
is, there's impeachment.
Yeah, but it's not being done, you know?
No,
So
I mean
it's
it's just as hard as presidential impeachment.
yeah, yeah. And so, I think that unfortunately we are very clearly hitting that point where our own safeguards are being, I mean, it's clear that the safeguards are being ignored. This is,
Well, yeah, but what I mean is uh, the wrongdoers, I feel like, have started to cross a line in their blatantness that indicates that they know that they have so completely ignored the safeguards, acted so completely out of bounds, that they are legitimately worried that if they
lose power, they're going to jail. Yeah,
lose power, either the existing safeguards will be enacted or there will be changes made to make it easier.
yeah. And I guess so.
I mean, what if there was a constitutional amendment that changed it so it only required 55% of the vote to convict in the Senate?
Yeah, and I guess the reason why I remain worried, despite, them seeming to be acting more rashly because they're worried about losing power,
Or for
is
that matter, what if there was a constitutional amendment that said they don't have to be impeached and removed if they're convicted of a crime?
yeah. And the thing is, though, is that I I don't know how easily constitutional amendments are going to get
For that
passed.
matter, but I mean, how about this one? What if the Senate changed the law, and I'm pretty certain this could be written constitutionally, where
Hmm.
no, they can't be removed from the Supreme Court, but they can serve from prison, and they did so as they expanded the court.
I mean, that's the issue I have with entertaining those lines of thought is that it requires uh,
I'm not saying that any of these are easy. I'm saying that
no.
like if particularly if I'm Roberts, Alito, Kavanaugh, or Thomas, these are things that I'm really worried about.
Hmm.
Because if I'm Roberts, Alito, Kavanaugh, or well, maybe not Kavanaugh, because I think he's truly stupid. Um, if
Yeah,
I'm Roberts, Alito, or Thomas, I know that I've committed crimes.
yeah. I guess so. Here's what I'm trying to articulate. The previous administration, tr the first Trump term, I was under the impression that okay, when they lose power, they're going to jail. And it almost happened. There were steps were taken, but it didn't move fast enough and it didn't happen. So it's almost like, okay, wow, the first administration was
Well,
them behaving in a way where they would go to jail if they lose power, but not realizing that's what would happen. It almost happening, and now
well,
this.
but two things.
Yeah,
First, they moved way slower.
yeah.
Second, how did they avoid going to jail?
By regaining power, yes. Yeah. No,
There
I
you
know.
go.
I know. It's one of those things where I'm like,
Again, I'm not saying that I'm convinced that the system would work. That's not what I'm saying
okay,
here.
yeah.
I'm saying that they are enough afraid of the system working
Uh-huh.
that all guardrails are off.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't, I mean, frankly, if you're somebody like that, do you want the 1 in 10 chance that you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life?
I mean,
I
I
mean,
know that yeah.
you understand that at this point, like there are large numbers of them that there are cases for murder.
Hmm.
Um, for that matter, like what if the next Congress just joins the International War
The
Crimes
international.
Tribunal? We're not signatories of that, but if we were, we'd just hand them over to The Hague.
That'd be nice.
And I say this knowing that it is entirely possible that Barack Obama would have to go stand there too.
Yeah, yeah. I thought about, you know, uh, yeah. It's one of those things where
And I
it's.
pray that it would turn out that the evidence would exonerate him because there's so much that we don't know, but we do know
Mhm.
that there were mistakes were made. We
Yeah.
do know that there were civilians that died that shouldn't have. And frankly, more and more, I think drone strikes in general are terrorism.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's ugh. Sorry, I'm stifling some pretty dark humor here. But yeah, I think that it's it's been the case for a long time that America has been a two-faced nation that you know
Well, but I mean, just taking this full circle before
uh-huh.
we move on into new to order.
That's probably a good
Um,
move.
I said that like the painting with a broad brush would come up again.
Hmm.
What this document says is that it's not good enough to believe that we created a better system and that we've done more with our resources than other countries. That's not enough for American exceptionalism. In their version of exceptionalism, the American people need to be better people, not to have earned or act better, but to be counted as better. Whatever they do, it's automatically better. And painting with that broad brush just that's how you get rid of all insight and reflection. It's how you stop actually getting better.
Yeah, I mean I guess if I guess what I would want to say is that if I'm painting with a broad brush by saying that America is, the America that
No, no,
of reality is different from the
it was
America of our minds.
Christianity that you were
I
painting with the
was.
broad brush early
That's
on.
fair. That's fair. No, no, no. I just meant now.
I
Like
wasn't
if
saying that you were using a broad brush now.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I was saying this document is asking for a broad brush.
I kind of feel like this document is less painting and more just exuding excrement, you know?
Sure.
Like that's where I was going with that one. But yeah,
But
it's
but according to this document, you should be beheaded for that, essentially. I mean, it doesn't say
sweet.
that quite
No, it doesn't.
directly, but
Didn't quite take that turn. But yeah, I mean that's the fact that I look like a
that
white
makes
man.
you one of the
Yes,
one of
and now is the time for
things that
anyone
that are
anyone who looks like, well, admittedly, okay, the one thing that keeps me out of the club is my beard, apparently. Beard and long hair. That's how you
well,
know.
but let's see.
But at the same time, I just want to say that now is I feel like I felt this way for a long time, but I think that we need to speak plainly, and I know you have been. We've been rejecting this, but I'm saying that I don't know what to do other than say this is scary. I don't agree with it, and these people need to be removed from power. You know, and I think that that needs to be said and taken seriously
Yes,
and acted upon. And like I am also, I guess I'm not concerned with oh, if you do anything, then the administration will want to behead you. Okay, again, my understanding is that if the administration looked too closely at me, they would find those reasons already. So
that's my point.
yeah,
I wasn't saying to
no, 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 no.
I was saying
I don't
that's
think so.
why you don't count as one
Yes,
of the
yes,
broad brush
yes,
exceptional Americans. You're one of the
yeah,
ones that has already been corrupted and
yes. I
lost
am.
self-confidence in your Western
Right,
identity.
right. Yeah. I am the not white enough European who is holding us back. Yes. Ooh, boo is me, please. I would love to be the cause of all of our problems. Oh, this is why we need comics, Dad. This is
Yes,
why we desperately need
their
comics.
vision of our country's inherent greatness and decency requires the restoration and reinvigoration of American spiritual and cultural health. They're talking about you, Phil.
Yep. Oof.
An America that cherishes its past glories and its heroes and looks forward to a new golden age, growing numbers of strong, traditional families that raise healthy children.
And this is where yeah, I just want to be, I want to, I want to be clever and say the non-traditional family is made strides. And if anything, if we look at the track record of the traditional family, there's been a lot of abuses that the non-traditional family could correct. Oh, I try to turn to silliness and
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
thankfully.
There's not silliness this week. There just isn't.
But there is Death Fight Forever, number one of five, from Andrew McLean, Alexis Zurit, a miniseries premiere. Super Thief, Bruiser Brothers, Crash, and Bash Biggle jump into action to help Commander Thunderfang fight interdimensional crime boss Lord Slither. But in a run-in with Marla Mendoza, leader of the Cops, spelled COPZ, gang and Slither's most formidable loyalist, changes the course of Bash's life forever. An all-new action comedy from best-selling writer Andrew McLean of Headlopper fame and gonzo artist Alexis Zurit of Space Riders fame. Uh, Final Order Cutoff, January 26th, in stores February 18th from Image Comics.
It's Jeff meets Daredevil,
Woohoo!
my two favorite characters in the Marvel universe. I have
Such a fun
Jeff on
pair.
my sweatshirt.
Oh,
Jeff
nice.
and Cats.
Yeah, that's a good one. You went positivity. I have Pickle Rick. I'm antisocial.
It's Jeff meets Daredevil from Kelly Thompson and Guri Huru. The adventures of Jeff the Landshark continue with Daredevil in this special news story from Star Jeff team Kelly Thompson and Guri Huru. Jeff the Landshark learns the meaning of courage from the man without fear. Plus, the latest season of It's Jeff appears in print for the very first time, so you can join all the adorableness and chaos the way Daredevil himself would without a phone screen. Don't miss what happens when Jeff wins the lottery, goes to the groomer, and best of all, takes on the Hulk. Final order cutoff is February or January 19th in stores, February 18th from Marvel Comics. I love Jeff. I love Daredevil. I'm looking forward to this.
That's gonna be a good time. All right. Ooh, I've been looking forward to this for a while. A Mischief of Magpies by Simon Spurrier and Matthias Bergera. From Distillery. This is a series that I heard about earlier this year, way earlier this year, back in March or February, but it looks like it's getting resolicited now, which is great because I thought I missed it. I thought I'd completely missed this book, but it hasn't come out yet, which is perfect. If you are a fan of their previous work, Coda, or one, it's, oh, Step by Bloody Step. That's it. Okay. And now the summary. Mar has a secret. Sometimes, without warning, falls out of the world. This would be an inconvenience if his life wasn't already such a drag. When he's gone, he finds himself in an extraordinary city, a city which is also a machine, endlessly crossing a shoreless ocean. A city of two halves, the bright, bustling spires above the waves and the beast-haunted twilight halls below. And between, clowning along the rustling beach, a troop of anarchic mages with all the answers, but none of the questions. I am super pumped for this. This is going to be gorgeous. It is final order cutoff of January 19th in stores, March 11th, again from Distillery.
All right, this one's interesting.
Also looks cool.
Well, what do you notice immediately as you look at it?
That it is not written by Stan Sakai.
Right. So this is our first Usagi Yojimbo solo comic, kind of, but like not Usagi Power Rangers, not Usagi Turtles. Um, that's not written and drawn by Stan Sakai. This is Usagi Yojimbo Kaito 84 from Zach Rosenberg and Jared Callum. In 1984, Osaka, the bloodline of Miyamoto Usagi, lives on through Kaito Usagi, a cunning rabbit thief with a rebellious spirit. He embodies his ancestors' legacy in a way the stoic samurai we know and love never could. A daring new heist for legendary spear sets Kaido down a perilous path, forever altering his destiny and placing the fate of Osaka and perhaps the world on his shoulders. Um, so yeah, this is kind of following I mean, Stan does Space Usagi, but you've also got Samurai Rabbit on Netflix is another future descendant of Usagi. So this follows that what's the word I'm looking for? Tradition. But yeah, Zach Rosenberg and Jared Callum getting to bring Usagi into the 80s. I love this cover. Um,
I did not even know that there was a Netflix
oh,
Usagi
it's
Yojimbo show.
fantastic.
If I had known,
Samurai Rabbit.
I see it. Yeah, I just looked it up because I'm like, I had never heard of that. It came out back
Hmm.
in 2022.
They're two
This is
seasons.
wild. Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea this existed. So now I have to go explore.
This is how I know that you haven't listened to all of our episodes
I haven't. I'm so sorry, Ted. There's a lot of them, to be fair.
because I have talked about it on the show.
I missed those. I missed those ones.
Oh, my wife just texted me.
Hmm.
And I don't know exactly where did she get this from. Let's see. The Hard Times is reporting that Trump has also been awarded the Hormel Peace Prize. My apologies to Hormel because this is clearly a parody article and
Ah,
probably not fair to them.
who is Hormel?
Hormel's a food manufacturer. They make like what's their most famous product? Uh,
Oh, breakfast meats. Oh my.
yeah.
Okay. Pepperoni. Like the cheap plasticky pepperoni. Oh my God. Okay, this
Well,
is
and they've got their chili.
this is where I want to say that I'm pretty sure the EZ Beef Corporation will be coming out with a Trump Peace Prize
I
soon.
mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind this pepperoni on pizza.
I am a trash panda and I will happily
I,
eat that pepperoni.
yeah, I do this Hormel. I mean, we always have this in our refrigerator. Um,
Would I? Yes. Is it a good idea? Absolutely.
So, so again, I want to make clear that that was only for laughing at going off of the FIFA Peace Prize, which, by the way, was a real thing.
Oof.
Um, Anybody from Hormel, my apologies if this joke offends you, because it would be right if it did. We should
Yeah.
have.
That's,
I mean, more accurate would be the My Pillow Peace Prize,
Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't think anyone who
the
owns a
One
My Pillow
America
has ever
News
known
Peace
peace.
Prize.
Oh, no peace for My Pillow.
I'm certain that he's been given the KKK Peace Prize
Ugh.
in secret
Yeah.
ceremonies.
I mean, that's that in hindsight was really a big moment that most of America missed when fucking David Duke endorsed him and he said, "I don't see what the problem is. I'm not
Yeah.
no." And it's like people not seeing that that was a problem is part of the problem.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry we had to tarnish Yojimbo with some awful
Well, I mean, we
dictatorship.
we were done with Yojimbo,
That's fair.
so I mean, we kind of went in between. So now we'll talk some graphic novels. This one looks just fun. Uh, uh, Jessica Campbell at Drawn and Quarterly brings us Hot or Not 20th Century Male Artists, a hilarious send up of the art world's patriarchy. The history of 20th century art is filled with men, but one key component has always been missing. Which of these men are bonable and which are not? Jessica Campbell has created the definitive resource on this very important subject in a hilarious rundown of male artist hotness and notness. From cheeky scratch off cover and curator's statement, Jessica Campbell's Hot or Not is a delightful, cheeky exclamation of female desire and utter lack thereof.
It's that does sound hilarious. I would also like to say that the phallicness of the cover really snuck up on me.
Yep, yep, yep,
It
yep, yep.
didn't jump out. At first I was like, oh, those are some interesting leaves, some interesting shaped foliage.
Yep, yep.
Um, yeah.
So FOC is January 26th in stores on March 18th.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at that one. All right, next up we have The Pancake Trap from Stephanie Young and Allison Lassiter. Join Maple and Margaret Sanford in The Pancake Trap as they learn that differences can be strengths, change can reveal who we truly are, and that love is thicker than batter. Maple and Margaret Sanford might be sisters, but they couldn't be more different. 10-year-old Maple is pancake obsessed, griddle cook, determined to she's a 10-year-old griddle cook. This economy, guys. Determined to save their grandma's failing restaurant, Dot's Diner. Margaret is a college-bound beauty queen who can't wait for their mom to sell the rundown restaurant on the last day before Dot's Diner will be sold to the town's multimillionaire mogul. The girls are thrown into a dangerous food-themed treasure hunt looking for gold left by runaway outlaw Crispy Cruller. So yeah, that looks like a fun all ages series. There is a French bulldog on the cover, which is absolutely adorable. Final order cutoff for this one is May 18th, in stores June 10th. So that's a ways away.
Super Punk from Mirta Santana and Guilherme Petreca. Meet Violetta. Violetta is a 13-year-old skateboarder and podcaster, but most brutally, she's a punk. Oh, and a superhero too. Superhero plus punk equals super punk. That's Violetta. After discovering her grandfather's old cassette player, God, that makes me feel old. Violet I mean, I'm a grandfather too, so it makes sense. Violet decides to play a cassette tape backwards. Why? It's pure punk rebellion, duh. What she didn't know was that this rebellious act would grant her magical powers and unleash monsters. A lot of them. Violetta will need to use all her superpowers to protect her home of Hollow Hills from the strange creatures and send them back to wherever they came from. Luckily, she's joined by Alan, Violetta's faithful sidekick and fellow podcaster. Together, they'll have to find a way to put these monsters back in their place. But between homework, podcasting, and skateboarding, Violetta has a tough time managing it all. When a horde of monsters descend on her school, will this super punk be able to save the day? Multi-award-winning comic artist Guilherme Petrarca and TV writer Mirta Santana bring you Superpunk, a radical adventure story about the need to rebel and act out to protect the people and things you love. Final order cutoff of April 13th in stores May 6th from Oni Press. This looks
That does
fun.
sound like fun.
This looks
Heck yeah.
fun.
All right, now we have Wolfsbane, Volume 1, from Ryan Cady and Morgan Bean. Following in her father's legacy, Quinn's entire life has been devoted to slaying werewolves. But when a young victim falls into her care and her stash of inherited silver bullets begin to run low, the horror of the monsters grows stronger. That's going to be final order cutoff of January 5th, in stores February 4th.
All right, a couple of collections. Action Before the Ban, the archival collection, celebrating 50 years of Britain's most controversial comic. A violent, gritty, and unrelenting action comic was the brainchild of Pat Mills and Jeff Camp. Tasked with creating a new anthology comic in the IPC's Boys Adventure division, the pair rapidly developed a winning formula, reimagining existing story ideas from fresh perspectives and infusing them with a healthy dose of modern realism. With strips such as Hookjaw, Dredger, Lookout for Lefty, and Blackjack, the success was instantaneous, but so was the criticism. Many of the press, including the London Evening Standard, The Sun, and the Daily Mail, were quick to denounce the comics, while Mary Whitehouse and the pressure group Delegates Opposing Violent Education piled pressure on the IPC board to do something about it. In less than a year, Action was pulled from circulation, then returned months later, a sanitized pale shadow of its former self. But the spark had already been lit. Action had made its mark and became the catalyst of the evolution of the British comic scene, paving the way for 2000 AD and the British invasion of UK talent into America. Collected here are the first 12 issues of Action, containing all of the strips and some of the editorial that created so much infamy back in the 70s. This is from Rebellion. In Final order cutoff is January 5th, and in-store date is February 25th.
It's a little piece of comics history for you.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, and then we've got something called Wild Animals from Ed Brisson and Andy Kuhn. Neil's life has been falling apart ever since his father was killed by crooked cops. 15 years later, Neil's mother lays on her deathbed as he's stuck in a dead-end job, has nowhere to live, and no hope to speak of. Life keeps kicking Neil as he keeps taking it, too frightened to fight back. Till now. With his world crumbling around him, Neil finds himself backed into a corner, with no choice but to make a stand and right the wrongs that have haunted him for years. Revenge is a dangerous path to walk, and the deeper Neil goes, the more he realizes that violence is all-consuming. Perfect for fans of gritty crime thrillers like Criminal and Parker, Ed Brisson and Andy Kuhn deliver a hard-hitting, high-stakes story that pulls no punches from Mad Cave. Final order cutoff January 12th, in stores February 4th.
All right. Speaking of final order cutoffs, final order cutoff for the week of December 15th. Well, this week, final order cutoff being actually Monday, December 15th. Ancestral Recall Collection Edition from Jordan Clark and Atakan Ilhan at Ahoy in stores April 15th. Babs, The Black Road South #1 from Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows, also at Ahoy in stores January 14th. Breakthrough Life on the Brink, Christopher Fink at Fantagraphics on April 15th. Night City #1 from Matt Kint and David Lapham at Dark Horse on in stores February 4th. Leo Rising from Archie Bongiovanni at Abrams in stores January 21st. Ripcord #1 from Cullen Bunn and Aniki at Ignition in stores February 4th. Thing Called Truth from Iolanda Zanfardino, Elisa Bully at Oni on January 7th. Teodora's Letters, an enslaved woman's fight for family and freedom from Marcelo Di Salete at Fantagraphics on April 8th, and Vanishing Point, the collected edition from Mark Russell, Wando, Ryan Alexander Tanner, Alberto Ponticelli at Jock at Mad Cave on January 21st. And this is where I knew that I had forgotten something. I hadn't actually gone and found uh current crowdfunding stuff because all everything we'd
Um,
listed before is done. However, thanks to Heidi McDonald at the Beat, I can quickly fly through and we'll just share what they currently have. There is a Hack Slash Volume 1 to 6 Omnibus Deluxe hardcover uh, through December 11th. This is Tim Seeley and Company with Hack Slash. Volume 6 is the new hardcover, but you can get the earliest ones or earlier ones as well, and it is on Kickstarter. Uh, Aiua, the manga series, Volume 1 from Lucas Bertoncello. This is through December 9th. Um,
looks
and
very
it
spooky and very cool.
is also on Kickstarter. I Will Save You, the fourth book from David Bohr and Winston Gambro, through December 11th. Also on Kickstarter. Oh, a wordless cosmic myth in comic form. Oh, that looks kind of cool.
That does look pretty cool.
From Neo 1 on through December 13th. Also on Kickstarter. Quixotic Resonance, Volume 1, original webcomic and soundtrack. Uh, from Silver's Castle through January 6th. Um, Aika R.H. Silver is the creator, and that is also on Kickstarter. And finally, we have the official My Chemical Romance at Dodger Stadium fanzine
Wow.
from Natasha Janfaza uh, through December 30th. And we'll bring that up just because, uh, it's on Kickstarter as well. Gerard and Mikey Way have both written their own comics as well. So,
I know
you know,
Gerard had it. Well, I think Mikey contributed to Killjoys, so yeah.
yeah, no, Mikey. I think Mikey's had at least one of his own too.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
missed that one too, clearly.
So, um, yeah. Anyway, that's our currently kickstarting compliments of the staff at the Beat because I completely neglected to go find anything this week. So thank you, Heidi and company. Um, and Diego Higuera in particular is our byline on this at the Beat.
I'd even say if you're listening to this and you have a Kickstarter coming up soon, feel free to reach out, let us know, and
Oh, always.
yeah, we'll take a look. We'll read about it on the show. We like
Yeah, yeah.
comics.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. As long as you don't use AI and
Yes,
aren't
please.
manga.
Yes. Those are some pretty hard lines we've got.
Yeah. So this is one of those rare weeks where not only the books, but the order I put them in um, for three spectacular books I hope would be spectacular are also the three books that I'm going to call amazing. Impressive that it stayed this way too, because like Birds of Prey, Batman, Cheater, and Cheshire, all great. Death Dog #2, amazing. Kill All Immortals #2, amazing. Magnificent Adventure, The Perils of Giuseppe Bergman by Milo Manara. Oh my God, is it good? It's like just an absolute masterpiece. Um, Trigger warning. Strangers in Paradise Sale is amazing. And I loved the wrap up of Uncle Scrooge, Flintheart Glomgold's Sinister Secret. However, my top three, Chris Cantwell takes the lead with Briar's Night, Briar, Knight's Terror #1, and Star Trek Red Shirts #5. Briar was with Alex Linz. Red Shirts was with Megan Levins. Oh my God, the twist at the end of Red Shirts just blew my fucking mind. Um, it just, yeah. Uh, Giant Size Criminal. I mean, it took two Cantwell books to beat out Giant Size Criminal. And
Oh,
did
that's
you
funny.
read through the role play at the end?
I I unfortunately didn't get to this comic shop this week, but I
Oh,
am excited to read through the role play.
it's
I
good.
am excited to
It's
pick this one
good.
up. Yeah, I'd love to give it a shot.
Peter's been wanting to run a game, and
Hmm.
like it's single session, so
Oh
I
yeah.
already want him to run. I've actually tossed two things his direction recently. I tossed the Crystal Heart
Uh-huh.
and now the Criminal.
Heck yeah.
So, and then Matt Kent killed it at Bad Idea with both Save Now #2, his time travel story, and They're All Terrible #3, his I guess we'll call it Swords and Sorcery. That feels
Yeah.
about right. Thomas Giarello on the time travel, Ramon Villalobos on the Swords and Sorcery. Both of them just killed it. Just killed it. Loved it. So anyway, Phil, why don't you take a walk?
I will. I didn't make it to the comic store this week, but I've got They're All Terrible #3 and The Voice Said Kill #4 waiting there for me. I unfortunately forgot to uh, uh, pre-order a copy of the Criminal one shot, so I'm really hoping there's an extra copy there. I have to imagine there will, as you know, Ed and Sean are pretty dang popular. But yeah, but the voice said kill #4. I was worried about this one. It got delayed a little bit, so I'm gonna have to reread the whole miniseries at once. And it's been a week. There's been a lot going on. Tad, this is my chance to ask you if you have a preferred baseball video game out there. My nephew is a baseball fan, and I'm trying to I am determined to find the best baseball game of the Nintendo Switch for him this year.
I mean, really, how old is he?
He's 10.
Okay. See, since you said Nintendo Switch, I'm not
Yeah.
100%. In terms of like Major League Baseball games,
Uh-huh.
really the show is the only licensed game, and
Okay.
it's good.
Yeah.
In fact, if anybody wants to buy me a PlayStation 5 so that I can get the new version of the show, I would greatly appreciate that. Because I just don't have the $500 so that I can spend $100 to play the one game that I play.
Right? Yeah.
I really, really wish I did. I mean, you don't understand how much, like, there have been days lately where I've been almost in tears because I really
Oh,
just want to play the new game. Um, and that also has to do with my own bipolarness and whatnot. So, like, don't think that I'm actually like that nuts, but
well, I was gonna say, I mean,
um,
it hasn't hit the comics budget yet, so it can't be that bad.
well, that's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't
Yeah.
hit the comics budget. Um, but it does look like Nintendo also has the Super Mega Baseball, which
Oof.
is
You know,
relatively well
is it? I mean,
reviewed,
it has
but
it's giving
well, but
baseball at home vibes.
but that's my point is that like it's the for people who like to have something weird,
Uh-huh.
um, but not necessarily like the Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing their
Um,
Powerful Pro 30th anniversary from Konami. That certainly seems interesting. It looks like an old
yeah,
school baseball
that
game.
looks like well, and it's also expensive enough that it makes me wonder if it's Japanese only.
I found that
Discovery Japan,
oh wow, okay, there we go. So
Japan with love.
hmm.
So there'd have to be you'd have to know that I don't know enough about
right?
Nintendo to know
Yeah.
if they
I
have region codes.
right. Oh, yeah, that maybe. And this is one where it's like, hey kid, I heard you like baseball, so you're gonna learn
Right.
Japanese just to play this, right?
I mean, it does look like there's still even
A Little League
Walmart
World
may, well,
Series.
no, that's
That's a Walmart seller.
online.
Yeah, thankfully there's no Walmart themed video games that I know of yet.
Well, I was just trying to figure out if they had it in stores still, but
Oh,
it's in stock online because this
okay.
is this is from 2022, but there's the Little League baseball.
Okay. Interesting.
Um, but no, I mean the one
It's the show.
is the show.
Okay. I
And
that
its price is significantly lower right now because it's the end of
yeah.
the season. The new one comes out in the
Oh.
spring, that sort of thing. Looks like looks
Oh.
like the store that I used to work at that I don't like to talk about has it for $20 right now.
Okay. Well, you know.
And again, it's a like I like this game so much that it has also made me consider would it be worth just going with the Switch because it's cheaper just so I can play this game, even though it would wind up being different from what I'm used to. And I know that there's not quite the same depth of playability on the Switch as there is on the PlayStation and the Xbox. Yeah. So, like,
I,
you can't go wrong with this one. If
that's
he
fair.
likes baseball, this is the video game to get.
Thank you. That
The
is,
show,
I just
the
wanted to
show
make sure.
25.
Just
And
wanted, I
then
knew
I
of
will
the
be
show.
jealous because he has the game that I can't get.
Well, and this is
I'm
this is
still
where I'll.
playing 22, 23, and 24
Oh, see,
because 25 is the first one that wouldn't play on the PlayStation 4.
and that's a dang shame. It's weird to me that they have it on the Switch but not the PS4. That's a bizarre move, I gotta say. Um,
The Switch is the newest Nintendo.
oh, the Switch 2 is.
Oh. Well, then
Yeah,
make certain it'll play
I will
on
have to.
his. You might have to get an
Yeah.
older one.
Yeah, this is how yep, the perils of being an older person trying to look for newfangled things. Um well thank you for the quick diversion into baseball games, Tad. That's I'm thank you for being the Virgil to my Dante in
Yeah,
this
and
in
like
this
if
world.
anybody wants to send me a PlayStation 5 or if you'd be willing to make contributions, my wife can set up a Ko-fi or email the podcast. I can give you my Venmo information. I will happily take contributions towards a PlayStation 5 because
Is there a PlayStation 5 get Tad a PlayStation 5 tier on Patreon?
I mean we should consider it, but
It's
there isn't at this time.
it certainly sounds
Um
like it's an advancement that Patreon could use.
I mean and it's dumb, but like the mode that I play is what they call the Diamond Dynasty mode.
Oh,
So
I
there,
think I think I'm
y-
familiar with that.
yeah, you do a lot of
You like create a
like
character
no,
and
that's
have
the
no?
Road to the Show.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I play that some, but the one I play is the Diamond Dynasty mode, and it has um a lot of different ways you can play. You can play 9 inning games that you can earn stuff for. You can play seasons that involve 3 inning games that you can earn
Oh, interesting.
stuff through. You can play maps that involve 3 inning games.
Wow,
You build your team based on baseball cards that you earn.
that also sounds cool. He loves baseball cards.
Right. So like it's gonna sound dumb, but like half the reason that I'm sad is like for the last 3 years, there have been new Negro Leaguers every year. So, like, I
Oh, okay.
haven't gotten to play with their version of Oscar Charleston
Wow.
and um
Okay. No, no, no. That's cool. I think that's a good
and
reason
Cole
to.
Papa Bell yet.
Yeah.
Um, like another part of how they do things in the Diamond Dynasty is like you'll replay moments and you'll earn cards from like new call ups and whatever. So like
that actually does sound pretty cool. That's a good way to like shake up your standard baseball format, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Well, and it's annoyingly addictive.
It's on video
It's
games
why I
all
want the new one rather than
right.
playing the old ones. It's why I actually like I got the PlayStation 4 as a hand-me-down from my brother when I was out with a concussion
Um, I
just
remember the concussion.
before just before um the show 23 was released. So I had like 2 weeks before the 23 or 2 weeks where I had a PlayStation before
Uh-huh.
23 was coming out. And 22 was only $20. So of
Oh yeah.
course I bought it.
Yeah.
But I really only played it until 23 came out and I hadn't really discovered Diamond Dynasty yet.
Uh-huh.
I'd been playing the modes that were ones that I was more used to from previous games. Because one of the reasons that I went after it is like when I had my concussion is when I dusted off my Xbox and I was playing the most recent version of um MVP baseball, which was like 2005,
Wow.
something like
That's
that.
funny. Wow.
You know, um, before MLB The Show became the exclusive and for a long time wasn't available on Xbox. But so I was playing my old one and like I was playing it enough and I had a concussion that it's like, oh, my birthday's coming up. What is there any way we can make this happen? And like, well, we can make it happen because I just got a PlayStation 5, so I don't need my PlayStation 4 anymore. So like I had really hoped that the PlayStation 6 was going to come out this Christmas.
Okay.
If the PlayStation 6 had come out this Christmas,
Then the hand-me-down would have continued.
there's almost certainly one of three that could have been handed down to me,
Wow. Yeah.
but it didn't come out.
That's okay. You know, and this is where I will say that for what it's worth, I do pretty much all of my gaming on the Switch, mostly because I don't know, I've in my heart of hearts, I guess I've always been a handheld type of gamer person more so than console, but it's just gotten more convenient when
Right,
my wife likes to have a TV show on while she's doing schoolwork and
right.
and I'd rather not take over the whole room with the sounds of sword fighting and
No, I
perilous
get it.
screams. Yeah.
I
Oh
get
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
It soothes me, but not her. This is where the last little point. I just want to jokingly say, should I get my mom into anime? When I was a
no, just
kid,
manga.
that's fair. Yeah, well, that's a good response. We'll leave it at that. How's you read? I see you read one chapter of One Piece this week. Yeah, which is funny because I read two whole chapters of Mob Psycho 100.
Keep beating me.
I
Hey,
it
I
was
did read I did read two chapters of Harakami Mound. So like my
ooh okay
baseball manga, I read two chapters of. So I read three chapters of manga total this week.
okay okay. Should we get you? Should we change the heading of the section? Should it not be the One Piece
No,
race, but should no?
no,
It's okay.
because I want to encourage myself to get.
Okay, so we got to get through One Piece. We got to
I
get
I
you
want
through One
I
Piece.
want the original goal, and I
Uh-huh.
still have it,
Yeah, is to get
is
caught
to
up
when
before
the
it's over.
last chapter comes out
Yeah.
and they're officially in their final arc.
Uh-huh.
No clue on how long that will be, and some arcs have been as many as 300 chapters, whatever. But they're
Holy
in
crap.
their final arc.
Yeah, yeah.
When the last chapter comes out, I want to be reading it fresh.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So yes, this is turning into a real high stakes gambit for you.
I
You
mean, it
know.
has been for a long time, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I need to I need to put a few hundred chapters under my belt sometime soon. It's definitely one of my goals for Christmas break.
Wow. Lovely. And of
So,
course I like picking a quote from the chapter I just read, and this week's is and yet Mob was fooled. It's such a funny series. It's one that every time I'm like, I don't know, this is a little strange. Nothing's really happening, and it's just kind of goofy. And then a line like that will come out, and I'll just burst out laughing. It's so much fun.
Alright. So, how about
The seasons?
we move into great responsibility in the seasons?
Yeah,
I
sounds
have lots
good.
of thoughts, almost
Same.
all of them good,
Oh
but I'm gonna
yeah.
let you start first because
Okay.
think I think half of my deeper thoughts are more about the comic market and
Oh, okay.
how the seasons represents it.
That's very interesting. So I only read the first five issues
I
because
mean, that was all we were reading. We were reading the first
okay.
trade.
Yeah, well, I read the first trade, and then I read one more issue after that. And it was
Oh,
the reason I stopped
I thought
because
the
that's
first trade was 5 issues.
no, it
Was
was
it?
only four. It
Okay.
because and that's what I'm seeing is that the it looks like each trade is probably only going to be four issues because there's only
Right.
four seasons. Um,
Right.
so the cyclical nature of it, I thought really interesting. I loved how issue one felt so kinetic. Like it just felt like a very okay, we're following this letter like going all throughout town
hmm
and everything. It was
hmm
just the physicality of it was so great, and I absolutely adored the artwork. It was wonderful in so many ways of the shifting styles. It was a subtly shifting style because it's really only the main one, and then there's a few characters that look super cartoony and distorted. Um, but it was really cool. I'm very interested to see where it goes. It's I had more thoughts than just this was neat. It's definitely well, it's hard to get a strong feel for it because I do think this is a book that would read better issue to issue than in trade. And
Maybe I'm gonna actually argue that.
you said you are? Oh, you're going to argue against it. Okay, do you like
Yeah.
the trade? And I guess the reason for that is
Well, no,
because
I think it's set up for either.
it definitely is. It definitely is because the trade was short enough to where it'll hook you and you'll want to keep reading, and there's more to
Yeah,
it.
this is I felt like I read two issue ones.
Oh, for just the one trade?
Yeah. I felt like
Yeah.
I read the issue one that was the issue one.
Uh-huh.
And I also felt like the trade was an issue one.
A little bit. Yeah, I could see that because that was why I was saying that
So,
I'd want to read
so
it month to month is because the narrative momentum, like it it's still building.
no, I think the narrative momentum is actually built for the trade.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you think then reading volume two, you're going to get a bigger, satisfying chunk than because
Right.
I felt like we
I mean,
we were
I
kind of
don't know yet,
yeah
but and like it didn't slog at all,
yeah
right? But almost all of the new information after one came in four.
I could see that. Yeah, two and three were kind of
Or really
uh-huh.
2, 3, and 4 had as much new information as one did.
Yeah,
And one had your typical amount of bang, let's get you in.
uh-huh.
So I feel like both issue one and trade paperback one, their entire purpose is to get you to buy issue two slash trade paperback two. And that's not a bad
Yeah,
strategy. And it's not bad for storytelling either. I mean,
uh-huh.
it's not in any way, shape, or form like a dig.
Right, right, right.
In fact, there's something impressive about managing to have both a great issue one and a great introductory trade. I mean, I think the last book that I can think of that I will say accomplished this so absolutely solidly was Saga. Where that first issue absolutely sucks you in, but then that first trade has just enough of a twist that it's now slightly different from the first issue. And if you read the first trade first rather than the first issue first, you're just as sucked into the second trade. Like, so, I mean, what I'm saying is it's clear that creators are now, and this is why it makes sense that like Brubaker and Phillips have gone much more towards making graphic novels,
Hmm.
making ones that are in universe but not sequential.
Yeah.
Um, because I can't imagine how much harder it is. I mean, you already have a medium where you're thinking about panel shifts and page turns.
Hmm.
Now, like, and long, you've been thinking about the end of issue cliffhanger or whatnot hook to get to the next issue. But now you're also thinking about what's your hook to get to the next trade. As you're writing it, you have to think of it not just as single issue. You have to think of it as single issues, but you also have to think of it as parts of a bigger whole.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, honestly, like I think of, one of my favorite writers is Tom King, and I know that since he's established himself, he's gotten more to the point where he'll write entire story arcs or entire miniseries together rather than separately. And I know that it's during that era that a lot of people have kind of fallen off on him. But I
Uh-huh.
but I've kind of noticed a trend where the people who've fallen off on him tend to be the issue to issue people.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
That was.
honestly think that his bigger stories are even better now,
Mhm.
but they're not always as good to read month to month.
Yeah. That was quite frankly kind of
So,
part of why I fell off
so
on his stuff. Yeah.
managing to create the book that you can do both with
Yes. It's very challenging.
is is challenging, and
Yeah.
it seems like this is that book. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping in month to month yet. I think I'm going to leave it as something that I do trade to trade.
Yeah.
Um,
It's,
if only because I also think that there's enough going on that it might be hard for me to do month to month,
I can see
particularly
that.
given how much other things I read. Kind
Oh
of like
yeah.
I can't go monstrous month to month.
I understand that. I couldn't either. And I tried reading it from the beginning and
Right.
it didn't grab me that way.
Just too much to keep track of. I
Yeah.
needed much bigger chunks.
I would actually, so first of all I just wanted to say I know I'm not disagreeing that Saga is absolutely a perfect example of issue one and trade one both being equally captivating for an entry point of the series. I just wanted to say that there's surely other series
Oh, I'm
that do the
certain.
same. Yeah. That, in fact, one I can think of is from this series. I think the Power Fantasy does that pretty well. I hope that, I
I
mean that
haven't really read it as a trade, so I
yeah.
can't speak to that
It is tough. It's definitely, it's hard
because it
to,
requires having read it both ways for me to really
that's fair. That's a good point.
speak to that.
That is a good point.
Um,
But that said, to not completely shift this one, I do also think that the heavy drawing point, and that's, I didn't mean for this to turn into a pun, is the art.
oh
Um,
yeah, Azacita's art is outstanding.
Yeah, it's so good. And this might be a minor blasphemy, but back when I was first getting into comics and he did a couple issues of Spider-Man with Mark Waid, I didn't like his style then. This was like I was like 18 or 19. And
I
I
mean,
was
I
like,
think I know the
what's
ones
up
you're
with
talking
this?
about.
Yeah. And now every page I am adoring it. It is a
And
lot of fun.
what I'm gonna say is, um, I feel like if you go back to some of those early books,
Uh-huh.
um,
So I definitely think my tastes have changed. That's the biggest
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no. But I was trying to look and find because I know that there's one that we hit on all the Marvels
Uh-huh.
that we both, and I think it was a Amazing Spider-Man. Um,
Yeah, I know he did. Um,
But but where I was going
uh-huh.
is I remember Tyler and I both commenting that there was a level in which he felt like Paul Pope light.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
Because I mean, seeing his work now, I definitely wouldn't think that.
well, I wouldn't think that either, but I can still see the influence. I think he's
Yeah,
become Paul Azaceta. I think it's
of
kind
course.
of like, Neil Adams famously fired Bill Sienkiewicz as his assistant because he said, Bill, you need to go become Bill Sienkiewicz rather than just being a better Neil Adams.
Interesting. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I see the covers right now, the issue 612, 613, those were the ones that I was thinking of. And I think 614
yeah,
too. But yeah, these handful of ones for Electro, and it was like a heat wave in the city. Um
yeah,
it's actually four issues, it looks like. Or no, that's a variant, so just
yeah,
two.
6,
But
12, 13. Oh yeah. Two. And I
yeah.
guess that's the problem. I'm on I'm on our account rather than my account. So it's not automatically signed into Marvel Unlimited.
Oh, I see. I see.
It's gonna pull up
Um,
the actual interior art.
okay. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is that even now his style it's definitely, and it feels weird to say this, but it's like it's closer to what I recognize now as like a European comic style. He reminds me of David Aja in some ways, like
Hmm.
in his background work, but his character work is much different, much looser. Um, but yeah, this it was the kind of thing where, I it's funny because he had a reputation, or I've kind of heard it over the years of people saying, "Oh, his the as a seed is great." And again, like I said, I didn't know what it was until now. So that's now, everything he's done before. It's like, all right, got to go look at it again because
Yeah.
uh, it's totally
Well,
different to
and
me
he
now.
definitely has a European influence and a little manga and like this is why I assume he has Paul Pope influence just because there are
Uh-huh.
things that make me really think of Paul Pope.
Yeah.
Um, but I also can go all word association-y. So, just the
Yeah.
Paul could make me um
Oh, it's amusing.
but one of the things that makes Paul Pope is the breadth of his influence.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think it's clear
he
that,
loves those old comic strips. He loves Kirby. He loves Milo Manara and Hugo Pratt. He literally worked for Kodansha.
oh wow.
He was one of the first Americans to be a mangaka.
Interesting.
It never took. He did a number of pilots and never wound up because that's kind of how it works. We were talking about this the last time he was on. You'll put together a pilot and it'll go in an issue, but then they have like focus groups. I mean, they treat their manga the way we sometimes treat our movies. We're like
Right.
there are focus groups and
Oh,
surveys
so
that go out to decide what state because it all comes out as anthologies.
right. So Paul Pope worked for Kodansha, you said. Is
Yes.
okay. I thought you meant as a CETA for a second. I was like,
No,
oh,
Paul
okay.
Pope.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I could see his I could see him being a mangaka possibly.
well, but I mean, you can really see like I mean one of the reasons that came up is we're reading THB, which is his
Uh-huh.
earliest work and something that started before his time for Kodansha and continued after his time for Kodansha, and you can
Okay.
see him learning Japanese techniques
Oh,
and
that's very
whatnot and
interesting.
how it bled into the work that he was doing for himself.
All right.
So yeah, no, I've always liked Paul Azaceta. Um, and now even more kind of want to go back and look at the progression of Paul
Uh-huh.
Azaceta because I think he's found that looser, more kinetic style that he was
Oh yeah.
looking for the whole time, but wasn't quite
I would have to,
there in
yeah, I'd have
terms
to
of.
read more of his stuff to see how close he was to it. But yeah, absolutely. His style looks like it's loosened up a good amount. And um, gosh, I just one of the things I loved about this was the constantly shifting point of view of the viewer.
Oh, I still need to go read Outcast too. I completely forgot that
Oh,
was it. I think I've read
Outcast.
the first volume of that. Robert Kirkman's
Oh,
horror comic.
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think I had heard about that, but I haven't read that one either. But yeah, and just the so many times that gosh, I really loved the short segment with Autumn, even though she pretty much immediately disappeared.
Hmm.
Um, and just I guess if there was one sort of note that I hope this grows and expands, and I'm wrong, is that I got a when the parents are lost in the mirror, the magic mirror that they're just staring into, I had a very clear understanding of, oh, this is phones. This is, you know, this isn't,
Could be.
yeah, I mean, the image of a dark room with gaunt people like staring at something the size of their head and the light shining on them. Yeah, I was like, it's so I'm hoping that the metaphor continues to expand and it's not like a simple allegory because I guess I feel like that it's interesting because that's definitely a recurring theme for Remenders, of like the technology addiction and like uh, being lost in stories. I'm thinking of Tokyo Ghost here, where the main
I
character
love
there
Tokyo
was,
Ghost.
yeah, it was really great. It was really great. So it's interesting that that theme has stuck to him, and I hope that there is more out of it than simply, oh no, magic mirror, phones, cool art. Like that's
Right.
kind of, if I do have a critique of Remender, it's, I mean, I love his when he's great. I love his stuff. There are
Well, and that's
times,
the biggest reason that I hadn't read this yet is when
yeah,
I love
yeah,
Remender, and when I
exactly.
don't, I sometimes actually don't even like him.
Yeah, it's one. I mean, I don't think I've read anything of his that I've strongly disliked, but
No, I haven't
yeah,
read anything that I strongly dislike.
yeah,
Like I
just stuff that
I
doesn't
don't
click
even
for me,
think
really.
I don't even think I've ever read anything of his that I dislike.
Right, right.
But I've definitely read stuff of his that I don't like.
Yeah, like it's just not working for you for some
Right.
reason. And I guess it's also that, so here's the thing, he has such a
And that's actually
large,
that's something that worth bringing up briefly. Just
yeah.
like why do we have to like or dislike? Why isn't it okay to just like I don't have feelings
Uh,
about this?
well, and
Everybody's like,
that's
well, why do
right.
you hate it? I'm like, I don't hate it. I just don't
Yeah.
like it.
Well, and here's the thing is I feel like
I
there's
don't
been,
dislike it.
right, but that's the thing is there's been a societal shift where not liking something is being equated with disliking something. In the same way that
Just
people
dumb.
use mid as an insult. It's like, well, at least if you
Just
were
dumb.
bad, people could love you for being bad, but if you're mid, you're forgotten, you know? So
Fine.
it is dumb stuff. It's dumb stuff. And that's why it's like ultimately, what comes around is that I do think that art at the end of the day should make you feel something, even if it's dislike. I honestly, there are times there are times when I can appreciate unlikability in art, and there are times where I rail against obvious attempts at likability. And so for that, I respect Remender in that I don't think he's a writer that is trying to be popular or trying to be likable.
Whereas I honestly think that if I don't dislike it, there's probably somebody that likes it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's actually probably somebody that likes it a lot. It just
That too.
doesn't resonate with me.
Exactly. And that's
You
why I'll keep
know,
giving his work
I mean,
chances
this
because I've
is
found ones that do resonate hard.
right. I mean, this is like I have there are a lot of comic writers that I'm in the minority on. I don't love Scott Snyder. I appreciate him.
Yeah.
I get why people like him. Some of his stories I love.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
like not an automatic read for me. He does
He
something different from what I'm normally looking for.
right.
I feel the same way about Cullen Bunn. I feel the same way about oh, why can't I remember his name right now? And I feel really bad because he was in a
Because you
car
don't feel
accident.
strongly enough about his work. Oh,
Well,
Donny Cates.
Donnie Cates,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you know, um,
I
and
thought his
all of
first
them have
miniseries was
done
great.
things that I do really, really like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
most of the things that most people really like, I'll read and I'll be like, I get why you like this.
Yeah. And
And
so
I don't dislike it,
yeah.
but it's not really for me.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, Snyder peaked with the New 52 Batman issue 5, the one that had the upside down pages. It's going to be hard to ever top that issue for me. Um,
I mean, Barnstormers is amazing though.
I'm sure, and that's the thing is I haven't read all of his stuff because here's the other thing, is that
I mean,
comics are
honestly, I get that Scott loves playing in the superhero universe, but I
yeah.
almost across the board love his stuff that's not.
Oh yeah,
And
I don't.
I
He's
guess
not
I
someone
like what he adds to the superhero universe, but not necessarily in a way where I need
read it.
to read it. I just need to know what got added.
That's funny. Oh, but gosh, I don't remember where I was
And
going,
Scott,
but
I say this
oh,
with
there we go.
love because you're amazing.
Right, yeah. Witches is great. There's he's done great comics, you know. There's been
Right.
good stuff. It's
Well, and
just
he's just a genuinely good guy. I
oh
mean,
yeah, he
like
seems like a
he
nice
was
guy.
on for our first baseball roundtable, and I really enjoyed having him. I'd
Oh,
love to have him back.
interesting. Okay.
So I want to make it abundantly clear, like this is my personal preference, not.
Right.
But that's the other thing. Like I think when you go, and I know we're losing the thread here, but
Well, I think I can
it's
bring it
about
back.
time to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah.
But when you have to like or dislike,
Uh-huh.
you're abdicating all responsibility for what you've brought to it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that necessarily. Because I think that it's the at the end of the day,
But,
good art makes you feel one way or another. To not feel as a result of art is a form of failure, you know? And I get that not everyone is going to feel something at every piece of art, but
well,
like,
but like again, good art is supposed to make somebody feel.
yes. And that's where I was going to try to go is that just because
So
it doesn't work for
so
you doesn't mean it doesn't work,
so
period.
so to only say that you either like or dislike things, to not have
I see what you're saying.
things
I see what you're saying. If you
is
reduce,
is
yeah,
is abdicating your responsibility
okay.
as the final collaborator.
I am picking up what you're putting down now. If you reduce your response to either like or dislike with no nuance, no variation, then you are abdicating your responsibility. Yes. Okay. We
Without
got that.
any understand. I mean,
Totally. Yeah.
because how quickly does it go from like and dislike to
Good
if
and
I
bad.
like it, it's good. If I
Yes.
don't like it, it's bad.
We are on the same wavelength right now because that is exactly what I was thinking as well. Of there is a huge difference between what I like and what is good. There's all kinds of art out there that is great that just doesn't work for me or that I don't enjoy in the same way, and that's fine. And
Well,
just
and
because
what's
I don't
more
enjoy
is
something
there are
doesn't mean it's
things that
bad.
I might not be able to with a straight face call good
Right.
that other people can and might even be able to convince me are good.
Yeah. I also love trash. There's stuff that's
Right,
clearly it's not quote
right,
unquote good, but I love it because it tickles me
mhm,
in some way. It's Big
mhm,
Trouble in Little China. It's not a great movie,
right,
but I adore it.
right.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
my dad too. That's one of his favorite movies.
Oh, fun. Interesting.
Uh,
Okay. Kurt Russell's entertaining. And this is
mhm,
so what I was going to come back to is that so with comics and specifically comics writers is that sometimes their output can be so great
mhm.
that I'm the kind of person that when I consider myself a fan of a writer or an artist, I feel compelled to get everything they do. And when I don't like everything they do, sometimes that like I have a that's my own
It
problem.
gets weird.
Yeah, I recognize
No,
that.
it gets weird for
I
me
totally recognize
because
it.
I'm a completist.
And it's funny that they're authors
But
that
in
I've
comics in particular,
uh-huh.
it could actually mean that he's that much more of a collaborator.
Exactly. I think he's
It could mean
honestly
that
a
he's working with his artists
yes,
and
for that matter, he works with some
maybe
really
I
great,
don't
really
like
talented
this
artists.
and like I say this knowing that there are times where like Remender and this artist, like I like Remender and I
Uh-huh.
like this artist and I don't like them together.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not going to get into details because
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
have
don't.
it. Well, and I don't have it
I
in my
didn't expect you
memory.
to.
So
Yeah.
I'm not even going to guarantee that it's happened. But what I'm
Right, right.
saying is what that could mean is that was the most fun an artist ever had on a story
It could have been. Yeah.
because Remender worked with him or her to let them do
What they wanted. Yeah.
what they wanted to do. But it wound up not being my cup of tea.
And that's the thing is that the seasons, this book, it really feels like it's Rick and Paul doing what they want to
Oh
do.
yeah.
And that's
And
what's
it feels like
exciting
my
about it.
cup of tea.
Oh yeah.
I'm down adventure mystery all
Yeah.
over it.
Oh, the fact that I read a little bit of the solicit text on image.com and they said for fans of dark horror or mind bending, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna go horror? That's
Right.
exciting. Wow.
Right. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I will be reading the next trade, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Big same.
I think again, not jumping on single issues has more to do with I feel like I want it in chunks right now than it
Yeah.
even does that like I don't like it enough for single because I have two ways that I treat single issues.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's I don't want to wait. Well, three
Yeah,
ways
yeah.
because
Okay.
sometimes I just want to support the book.
Of course.
But in terms of the actually reading them in single issues
Right.
versus
That
buying them,
I do that
sometimes
too.
it's a I don't want to wait. Um, and sometimes it's a I don't really want to wait, but I also know I'm going to appreciate this better in chunks.
Yeah. There are some books that when I was getting a whole lot more on a pull list, I would wait until I had like two or three issues at a time to read. And so then
Right.
it's funny, it turned into one of those, but I wasn't trade waiting, but I would wait to read it until I had more issues at a time. Oh yeah. It's interesting.
Right. So, anyway, books we hope will be spectacular. Uh, I'm pretty certain we're both going to say Assorted Crisis Events number 7.
Yep.
Dennis Camp, Eric Zawadsky. This is way up there on books of the year,
Oh
if
yeah.
not the book of the year.
The only argument we will have about it in our year-end lists is which lists it belongs on.
Yeah. Free Planet number 7. I like uh nearly as much and in similar but different reasons. Aubrey Sitterson, Ilya Kyriazis, which I think is a different artist for this issue.
They mentioned
Uh,
it was like a standalone jumping on
right,
point.
right. Because I think it's Jed Doherty that's done the other ones.
Um,
Vitario Astone at Image, and love me some Jesse Lonergan. So Miss Truesdale and the Rise of Man number 1 from Mike Mignola and Jesse Lonergan at Dark Horse. I can confirm already that both Ordained number 1 from Robert Vendini, Trevor Hairsine, and is Trevor Hairsine the artist on that? I thought he was one of the writers. Um, Let me make certain I didn't forget somebody on Ordained number 1.
uh-oh. Do 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 do
No,
do
no, it is.
do
It's Venditti
do.
and Hairsine.
All right.
Um, I can confirm is spectacular. I read it a while ago. And Santos Sisters number 10, I can also confirm is spectacular from Greg and Fake Mark Kopenrav at Floating World. Um, Phil, what are you looking forward to?
I am absolutely 100% with a bullet. Looking forward to Assorted Crisis Events number 7. Camp Zawitsky. Belair, Sonnet's main El How. Don't know why I threw his first name in there too, but yes, this is a book of the year. This is going to be one where I'm probably going to buy 2 or 3 copies of Trade Volume One at Christmas time to start handing out to friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an all-timer, truly. And then of course, at Dark Horse, we have Lone Wolf and Cub Deluxe Edition Volume One from Kazuo Koike and Goseki Kojima. Um,
One of the
I
greatest manga
yes.
of all time and a
Oh
wonderful
yeah.
hardcover collection. Yes, I
Yes.
pre-ordered this a long time ago.
That's one where unfortunately I didn't pre-order it, but I'm now approaching Christmas time. I
Dropping
usually
hints to family.
Well, family would need to listen to this out if you're listening, Lone Wolf and Cub. But at the same time, like, the a lot of times I used to buy so many comics for myself that my family couldn't really get them for me as gifts because I
Right.
usually buy them. But now that I
I kind of
haven't,
understand that.
yeah. Well, as thinking about gifts for you, I'm like, well, I can't possibly get Tad a comic because it's so I have to think outside that. Anyway, yes, super excited for that one. And then what also looks great is the Complete Hate Volume 2 from Peter Bagg over at Fantagraphics. I've read a little bit of his humorous Marvel stuff, and it is always a delight. So I really do have to read unadulterated, fully original Peter Bagg without superheroes. But yeah, those are what I'm looking forward to. Those great books.
It's very, very 90s.
Hate.
Hate. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
very 90s. So yeah, that's episode 213 in the books. Nate, if you're still listening, 6-7.
6,
And
7.
uh we will see you after the next page. Yeah. New to order this month. Initial orders are due December 25th. This is so important to our new to order sponsors, starting with longtime co-host. He'll be back one of these days. Tyler has his Nexus Vault in Laverne, Minnesota. Phone number is 507-858-8914 at 109 East Main Street, Laverne, Minnesota. You can also find them at thenexusvault.com. But also in December, we have a secondary sponsor. Lee, you want to take it away?
Yes, sir. That's me. So Lee Woods, co-owner of Modern Age Comics in Algonquin. Our website is modernagereader.com. We're located at 2214 East Algonquin Road in Algonquin, Illinois, 60102. And that phone number is 847-409-6295.
All righty. And also because we've actually we started doing this because we wanted to actually take a moment to remind people that you should order things in advance. I've remembered that FOCs are really important, so we're now going to give both the final order cutoff and the date that it comes out as a reminder to everybody when they listen to this every month that they really should tell their comic shops the stuff they want. It makes their lives so much easier. So we're going to start out with Archie X Army of Darkness #1 from Eric Burnham and Bill Galvin at Dynamite. Final order cutoff January 5th, in stores on February 4th.
We will continue on with Autumn Kingdom, The Wraithbound Queen, #1 by Colin Bunn and Christopher Mitten, produced by Oni, FOC January 12th and in stores February 4th.
Then there's Barbarians Behind Bars, #1 from Elliot Kalin, Andrea Moody at Mad Cave. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 11th.
Next, we got Black Moon Rituals, One Shot by Yatasha Womack and Aletha Martinez, published by AWA. Final order cutoff is January 12th. It comes out on shelves February 25th.
Bleeding Hearts #1, Denise by Denise Camp and Stipend Morian.
Dennis Camp.
Dennis Camp.
Yeah. Sorry.
Put out by DC and DC Vertigo. Future order cutoff is January 19th on shelves February 11th.
Butch, a hate comic One Shot from Peter Bagg at Fantagraphics. Final order cutoff January 5th, in stores February 4th.
The Center Holds Number One by Larry Hama and MD Bright from Boom Comics. Final order cutoff will be December 22nd and in stores on February 11th.
Crickets, number 9, from Sammy Harcum at Fantagraphics. Final order cutoff January 5th, in stores February 4th.
Daredevil #1 by Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett from Marvel. FOC is January 12th and on shelves at March 25th.
Death Fight Forever #1 by Andrew McLean and Alexis Zurett from Image Comics. FOC January 26th, on shelves February 18th.
Diorc #1 from Brett Bean, Jean-Francois Beaulieu at Image Comics. On final order cutoff is January 12th and in stores on February 4th.
DuckTales Valentine's Day Special One Shot by Connor Ratliff and James III Libero Ermedi. Hope I said that right. From Dynamite. Final order cutoff is January 12th and will be in stores on February 11th.
EC Tortured Hearts One Shot from Jordi Belair, Teeny Howard, Blake Howard, Ann Nesenti, Sebastian Cabral, Fabiana Mascolo, Dan McDade, Arjuna Susini at Oni. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 11th.
Next, we got End of Life #1 by Carl Starks and Steve Pugh at DC Vertigo. FOC is January 26th, with it being on shelves February 18th.
Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre #1 from Fred Kennedy and James Edward Clark from Mad Cave Comics. FOC January 26th, on shelves February 18th.
A facsimile edition of Hate #1 from Peter Bagg at Fantagraphics. Final order cutoff is January 5th in stores February 18th.
Is Ted Okay by David Chisholm and by David Chisholm from Mad
Chisholm.
Cave Comics. Chisholm by David Chisholm from Mad Cave Comics. Thank you. FOC February 2nd and in stores February 25th.
It's Jeff Meets Daredevil by Kelly Thompson and Guri Huru. I am so sorry. At Marvel Comics, FOC January 5th, out in stores February 4th.
Just Brutal #1 by Dennis Hopeless and Brom Revel at Ignition. FOC is January 5th, on shelves February 11th.
Lands Unknown, The Skinless Man #1 from Ben Stenbeck, Dark Horse Comics. FOC January 26th, in stores March 4th.
Lenore, The Curse of the BB Yaga #1 from Roman Dirge at Titan. FOC is January 26th, in stores February 18th. Lenore's one of Tyler's favorites, so I'm certain that you'll be able to find this at Vault of Midnight. Or Vault of Midnight's a great shop out in out in Michigan at Nexus Vault.
There you go.
Phil's looking at me weird, and we just plugged another comic shop. That's how much we love comic stores.
Leonard the Vampire, The House of Yonda #1 by Mike Mignola
And Yola.
and Rachel Aragno?
That one I don't know for certain.
Oh, Aragno. Gonna go with that. From Dark Horse Comics, FOC is February 9th and in stores March 18th.
Love Ignited One Shot from Patrick Horvath and Olivia Dufault and Chris Burnham Danny. Ignition Press, FOC December 15th, in stores February 8th.
Next, we got A Mischief of Magpies #1 by Simon Spurrier and Matthias Bergara at Distillery. FOC is January 19th, on shelves March 11th.
Muppets Noir #1 from Roger Langridge, Dynamite Comics. FOC is January 19th, in stores February 18th.
Murder Drones #1 from Wyatt Kennedy and Joe Mi Gyong. At Oni, final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 25th.
The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Kane mystery #1 by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips from DC/Vertigo. FOC is February 20th, or sorry, February 2nd, and then in stores on February 25th.
Pooh Bear Adventures #1 from Matt Cole, Tessa Rose at Keenspot, FOC January 5th, in stores February 18th.
Next, we got Ripcord #1 by Cullen Bunn and Anik. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
I think it might
At
be a
admission.
Niki, but yeah,
Aniki? Anik? Sorry.
one of the
Uh,
two.
one of those, I'm sure. FOC December 15th and on shelves February 4th.
The Rocketeer, The Island #1, from John Layman and Jacob Edker at IDW. FOC January 19th in stores February 25th.
Sirens Love Hurts #1 from Teeny Howard and Babs Tarr at DC Comics. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 11th.
Snow Monkey #1 from Jason Shaw and Hubert Kahn Michael at Red 5. FOC is January 5th and in stores on February 18th.
Star Trek Deviations Threads of Destiny one-shot from Stephanie Williams, Gregory Maldonado, and Mark Alvarado at IDW. FOC January 19th, in stores February 25th.
Star Wars, Jar Jar, One Shot, Ahmad Best, Mark Guggenheim, Kieran McCown, Laura Braga at Marvel. FOC is January 12th, on shelves February 11th.
Super Thick Lucky Tales #1 from Tom Seeley,
Tim Seeley.
uh, Tim Seeley, Troy Dungara, Danny Harrell, Javen Loop, and Keenspot from Keenspot. FOC January 5th, on shelves February 4th.
The Thing on the Doorstep #1 from Simon Burks and Willie Roberts. Image Comics. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 11th.
Universal Monsters, The Phantom of the Opera #1, brought to you by Tyler Boss and Martin Simmons of Image Comics. FOC January 26th, in stores February 18th.
Usagi Yojimbo Kaito 84 #1 from Zach Rosenberg, Jared Cohen, Dark Horse Comics. FOC February 2nd, in stores March 11th.
Next, we have White Sky #1 by William Harris, Lee Lowridge, Jean Paul Mavinga at Image.
That's
And this is
actually
February 18th.
William Harms. And I did forget to put a FOC, didn't I? We'll find that really quick.
Do, 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 do. Do, do,
Talk
do,
amongst
do.
yourselves.
Do, 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 do,
What's
do,
the name of the
do,
book
do.
again? I might White
White Sky
Sky.
White Sky #1. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Ted recently revealed to me he had to do some actual editing
And
on a previous
I might
episode.
have to again.
Well, I'm hoping that I can turn into a sound clip to be reused forevermore.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
possible.
Immortalized for technical difficulties unforeseen.
Final order cutoff is January 26th. That's
In
William
stores,
Harms.
February 18th. White Sky.
So some graphic novels after all of the lots of new series starting up at the beginning of the year. Graphic novels in this catalog, starting with Animon from Anouk Ricard at Drawn and Quarterly. Final order cutoff January 26th, in stores March 18th.
Brink Book 6 from Dan Abnett and ING Culbert at Rebellion. FOC is January 5th, and your in-store date is February 26th.
That would be one of the rare. We're doing a book 6 because the first 5 are quite good, and I haven't talked about them enough, and I need to reread them.
All right. Next up is College Tribe by Olivia Quartero Briggs and Roberta Ingranata from Mad Cave Maverick. Final order cutoff January 26th, in stores February 18th.
Next, we have Crazy for You by Paul Theroux and Steve Lafleur at Fantagraphics. Final order cutoff is January 5th, on shelves March 18th.
Curse of Dark Shadows from Craig Hurd McKinney at Jock, Gervasio and Gervasio from Hermes Press, FOC, January 5th, in stores February 4th.
Detective Stanley and the Green-Thumbed Thief, Hannah Tunnicliffe, Erica Harrison at Flying Eye Books, FOC January 5th, in stores February 3rd.
Destiny and the Phantom of the Swim Team, brought to you by Bill Holbrook and H. Glynn, Terrence and Isabel Marks from Hermes Press. Final order cutoff will be January 5th, and it'll be in stores on February 4th.
Elvis by Chris Miskowitz, Michael Shelfer at C2. Final order cutoff January 26th. In stores February 25th.
Next, we have Fallen by Matt Ringel and Henry Ponciano at Red 5. Final order cutoff is January 12th, on shelves February 25th.
Five Gears in Reverse, a criminal book from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips from Image Comics, FOC, January 5th, in stores May 20th.
Frankenstein, the Unconquered, Book 1 from Wells Thompson, Dalton K. Shannon, Mary Landro, Elizabeth Mackenzie, Dahlia Maha at Hermes Press. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 18th.
Galaxy as the World Falls Down by Jadzia Axelrod and Rye Hickman at DC Comics. Final order cutoff will be February 2nd and will be in stores on May 5th.
Genderqueer Annotated Edition by Maya Kobabe and Phoebe Kobabe, Justin Hall, Randy Storm, Mel Gilman at Oni. Final order cutoff April 27th, in stores May 20th.
Next, we have Halloween Boy, Volume 1, Last of the Halloween Boys by Dave Baker at Oni. Final order cutoff is May 4th, on shelves May 27th.
Hot or Not from Jessica Campbell, from Drawn and Quarterly, FOC, January 26th, in stores March 18th.
Just Between Us, Adeline Kahn, Dial Books, FOC, January 26th, in stores February 24th.
Lovely Recipe, brought to you by Mira Rose Nino at Random House. Final order cutoff January 5th, in stores February 3rd.
Metadogos for Bernice Matois de Narbonne, Drawn and Quarterly. Final order cutoff January 12th, in stores March 4th.
Next, we got Ninja Kaiju by Franco Scott Scoot McMahon at Paper Cuts. Final order cutoff is January 26th, on shelves February 18th.
Pancake Trap from Stephanie Young and Allison Lassiter from Oni, FOC, May 18th. Cutoff is in stores January 10th.
June 10th.
June 10th.
Snowlands, Volume 1, A Blood Moon from More Miraz, Colin Fogel at Scholastic, FOC January 5th, in stores February 4th.
Stimulus by Daniel Friedman, Robert Sandlin, Stefano Rildini, Tom Coker, Filia Batukin, all at Dark Horse. Final order cutoff will be January 26th, and you will see it in stores on April 28th.
Supergirl's Family Vacation by Brandon T. Snyder and Sarah Lever at DC FOC February 2nd, in stores May 5th.
Next, we have Superpunk, and I might need an assist here. That is Mertes Santana and Gilherme Patrica.
I think so.
Well, awesome. By Oni Press. Final order cutoff is April 13th, on shelves May 6th.
Tamiya and the Memories of the Dragon from David Branya at from Pijito Paper Cuts, FOC January 19th, on shelves February 11th.
Unemployed Killers Support Group from Rio at Titan. Final order cut off January 12th and in stores February 4th.
Vincent Van Gogh, Sadness Will Last Forever from Francesco Barilli and Saka, Mad Cave, and Becco Giallo. Final order cutoff will be February 2nd, and you'll see it in stores on February 25th.
Wolfsbane, Volume 1 by Ryan Cady, Morgan Beam at Rebellion, FOC January 5th, in stores February 25th.
Next, we have Wonton Soup, which sounds really good right now. The book and the soup by James Stokoe by Oni. Final order cutoff at June 1st, but on stores. Let me try that again. In stores and on shelves, hopefully June 24th.
All right, we'll round it up with some collections, starting with Action Before the Ban, Volume 1 from Pat Mills, John Wagner, Jerry Finley Day, Steve McManus, Kelvin Gosnell, Tom Tully, Barry Mitchell, Mike Dory, Ramon Sola, Horacio Olalia, Massimo Bellardinelli, the English comic that was so gruesome that it got pulled from shelves. Final order cutoff. This is from Rebellion, which also puts out 2000 AD. Final order cutoff is January 5th, in stores on February 25th.
Say that 5 times fast. Uh, our next one is Batman Dark Patterns from Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman at DC Comics. Final order cutoff being January 19th and in stores on March 31st.
Brainiacs by Sholly Fish and Joe Simcoe at Titan. Final order cutoff May 18th, in stores June 10th.
Next, we have Damnation of Charlie Wormwood by Christina Blanche and Chris Carr and Chi at Hermes Press. Final order cutoff is January 26th, on shelves February 25th.
Doctor Strange by Paul Smith, artist edition from Roger Stern and Paul Smith from Image Act 4. FOC is March 30th, on shelves August 12th.
Tyrant from E.E. Zan and Godfar at Image Comics. Final order cutoff January 12th, in stores February 18th.
The Juniper Lodge by Dustin Weaver, Jeremy Barlow, DJ Bryant, all at Image Comics. Final order cutoff is January 5th, and you will see it in stores on May 20th.
The Killer, Affairs of the State 2 by Mats Luke Giacomone at Boom Archaea, FOC January 26th, in stores April 28th.
Then we have Love Stories About Death by Dirk Manning, Owen Gianni. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Austin McKinley, Rich Bonk, Christopher Marchman at Prana. Final order cutoff is January 5th, in stores February 4th.
Marvel Creator Collection #1, Back to the Savage Land from Barry Windsor Smith at Fantagraphics, FOC January 12th, in stores February 25th.
Killing Your Thirst from Jimmy Palmiotti and Juan Santa Cruz at Mad Cave. Final order cutoff January 19th, in stores February 11th.
Queen of the Cosmos Comics Trilogy by Barbara Willie Mendez at Fantagraphics Underground. Final order cutoff will be January 5th, and you will see it in stores on February 11th.
Read Trailer Trash by Natalie Wong and Alyssa Villery and Yishan Lee at Vault Webtoon, FOC January 5th, in stores March 11th.
Next, we have Red Vector by David D.B. Andre, Tim Daniel, Chris Evan Huis at Mad Cave. Final order cutoff is January 12th, in shelves February 4th.
Spider Girl, Breath Through the Fire by Torin Gronbeck and Andre Riso, and Diogenes Nevet, Diogenes
I think it's Diogenes Nevis.
Dionysus Nevis at Marvel, FOC, January 12th. On shelves, March 24th.
A Star Called the Sun, a collection of short science fiction stories from Simon Roy. From Image Comics in store, or final order cutoff January 5th, in stores February 11th.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine Omnibus by Scott Tipton, David Tipton, Mike Chen, Greg Scott, Angel Hernandez, all at IDW Comics. Final order cutoff is January 19th and in stores February 24th.
Supergirl, Volume 1, Misadventures in Midvale by Sophie Campbell, Rosie Cramp, and Paulina Gansho.
Ganacho. Yeah.
Ganacho.
Yeah.
From DC Comics, FOC, January 19th, in stores March 31st.
Next, we have Superman, The Kryptonite Spectrum by W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo at DC. Final order cutoff is January 26th. In stores April 21st.
Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man from James Tinian the Fourth and Danny from Image Comics, FOC, February 16th. On shelves, March 25th.
Wake Now in the Fire, Jarrett Dapier, AJ Dungo, 10-speed press. Final order cutoff is January 5th, in stores February 3rd.
Wild Animals by Ed Brisson, Andy Kuhn from Mad Cave Comics. Final order cutoff January 12th, in stores February 4th.
And last but certainly not least, we have Wonder Woman Historia Absolute Edition by Kelly Sue DeConnick, Phil Jimenez, Gene Ha, and Nicholas Scott, all at DC Comics. Final order cutoff January 26th, in stores August 11th.
And thank you so much for our Die role-playing group for helping out today. And remember to put in your orders at your local comic shop, particularly if your local comic shop is either Nexus Vault in Laverne, Minnesota, or the Modern Age Comics in Algonquin, Illinois.